I do want to tell you this story real quick about Baker. I know I talked about in our pregame show about sitting down with him. So we were asked in the pregame show, do we come up with our own questions or do producers do it? And so my relationship with producers, they'll send an outline and some suggestions. And then I have calls with the teams and coaches that can help add more, take out more. I went back, Charissa. Joel had suggested saying something like, Bake, your life could be a documentary. It's so interesting in terms of what you've gone through. Number one pick, the tough times in Cleveland. Then he goes to Carolina. So I went back and I shout out Chat GPT. I wrote criticism of Baker Mayfield in 2022 when he was with Carolina. Charissa, the headlines.
Insane.
Were so mean and horrible. Bust. Height is an issue. Just like
mean, just mean.
Mean. And he came and sat down and he's so great. And I just said, people think they can say whatever. People think these athletes, they're just like Teflon and they don't hear it. It won't affect them. They're people. They're humans. I think of Emily Mayfield. I think of people in his life that do see that. I cannot believe I was so scarred from reading that. And then I sat in front of him and I was like, you're fantastic. I can't believe the fact you went through all that shit. Here you are in Tampa. The community loves him. He's won 3 straight games with fourth quarter comebacks. Like, it's insane. Like, good for you, Baker, for not throwing the towel in. America's quarterback.
Well, it leads me right into, I sat down with Daniel Jones this week.
Yes.
And prior to the game, they're 3-0. He's the first NFL player to ever have 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. The team's 3-0, like all this kind of stuff. For those of you that don't know, Daniel Jones played 6 years in New York. They were bad. They were. He'll be the first to tell you it was bad. He got booed out of New York. It was sort of like same thing. He's a bust. He got a contract, and then everyone was like, "Why pay him?" All this kind of thing. Negative. Fine, but I sat across from him and I was like, do you keep receipts? Because now, and again,
I said that too to Baker.
It's early in the year and they just lost to the Rams, but like it was a good game. And anyone that's following sports will tell you that like Indianapolis is like the real deal. They have a great run game. Daniel Jones is playing great. Their defense is great. Okay, they're a viable team, especially in that division. But I'm excited for him, just like I'm excited for Baker or Sam Darnold, or even when Geno Smith was having success in Seattle, and now remains to be seen in Oakland. But this idea that when you get written off, because this is the world that we live in, and it's not just in sports but in life. We do it with certain celebrity musicians or actors or whatever. You write them off, and then we love to tear people down. But I love a comeback, and so I think that's why Baker's so relatable. Or, it remains to be seen what Daniel Jones is able to do for the rest of the year. But at least these guys have enough confidence in themselves, or like his, former teammate and Saquon Barkley's like, you'll never meet a guy that works harder or is the bigger class act and when Saquon Barkley's opinion means a lot to me. He's another guy that got, was like cast out of New York and then goes and wins a Super Bowl. But these athletes are reminders to me, and I think that that's what's so beautiful about sports, is that you can be written off, and if you get a second chance or a third chance, you can have success, and you are the author of your own story. And it just sometimes is a relocation situation or being with the right coach. And so I love sports for so many reasons, but I love a comeback story. And if I was them, I'd be like this, because I said to Daniel Jones, he's like, he's too classy. He's like, no, I try not to pay attention to that stuff. I go, not me. I said, I keep so many receipts. I'm a CVS receipt. I said, that shit is so long. I said, I got so many fucking people that I would want to take down if I could. And he's like, laughs. But I'm like, I just love sports.